Words are about to be spoken on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, brought to you by the Ad-Free Shows, Podcast Heat, and Wrestling According to Alba Networks. I'm John Alba. That's the broken one, the woken one, the spoken one himself, Mr. Matt Hardy. What's up, my friend? We are here at the end of January. It is Royal Rumble week. It is going to be a fantastic week for pro wrestling. How are you today at House Hardy?
I am doing well. Doing great, man. Excited for this big weekend. We have obviously a couple big autograph signings at WrestleCon. That's myself and my brother Nero, Jeff Hardy. And on Friday night at 11:30, we are going to be throwing a Hardy party, which we are all excited about. I know everyone is excited about it.
So super excited about it that I can't even wait to get to it. Let's talk about it. The Hardy Party live in Indianapolis, January 31st. Right after Friday night SmackDown at the Indianapolis Marriott downtown. VIPs, man, we packed this place. It is going to be an awesome night. An Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast live, talking all about the iconic tag team table match at Royal Rumble 2000, followed by a Brother Nero acoustic concert. If people are waiting to the last second to purchase tickets on the WrestleCon website, Matt, they could be out of luck. They got to hop on this thing right now, don't they?
Yes, ASAP. All of the VIP tickets are sold. They are sold out. They sold quickly. There are a few general admission tickets where you can still get in. You can still see the show. You can still partake in all the activities. And I recommend getting them sooner rather than later because it's going to be a sellout.
It is going to be an awesome night. If you're listening to this, if you're one of the Matt Hardy sickos that listens to this on Friday morning, well, then this show is happening tonight. So make sure if you're in Indianapolis, WrestleCon.com, pick up your tickets for the Hardy Party, Extreme Life of Matt Hardy live on stage, followed by Jeffrey Nero Hardy on stage with an acoustic concert. We cannot wait to see you there. It is going to be an awesome night. And I love doing these live events. You love doing them. You guys just did one this past weekend. How'd that go?
It was great. It was a lot of fun, man. It was very weird doing it without you. So I kind of slipped back into Broken Matt Hardy and played two characters right in the beginning, and then got the show underway. But it was really, really fun, man. Had a great time. Crowd was super interactive. We took a few questions at the end of the storytelling time, and everybody had a blast. And then Jeff came out. He got ready for his Hardy Party. I said a little rap before I went to the back, and it was great, man. We had a really good time. Another successful Hardy Party in the books.
Cannot wait to see what is in store for this one. You never know what can go down. The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. TNA had some great tapings this weekend. A live show. How was the live show?
The live show was great. It was lovely. You know, they were pretty adamant. They wanted everyone to make sure to stay on their times, and everybody did pretty good with that. The show was on time, ended on time. Everyone was very thoughtful and mindful of everyone else on the show, which is very important when you have a structured show, because when you're on live TV, it's a one and done, and you can't really miss your takes. It's hard to move that time around in a lot of different cases. So everyone did great. It was a great show. It came off well. I know for about an hour, TNA Impact trended at #1, which was very, very cool. So it was great. It got a lot of good buzz, and it's cool that a lot of people are buzzing about TNA right now.
I had a chance to speak with Mustafa Ali for the Takedown on SI. You can hear that interview right now over on the Takedown on SI, and we were talking about it, and he said that he was the one to thank for the house, which I found interesting because his return was a surprise. So I'm not really sure how those two things actually add up, but he's back in TNA. You like working with Ali? I feel like he's someone who adds a lot of value to TNA.
I think so. Yes. He's a very good, compelling character. He's always been a great worker. I think now that he's really tapped into a character that he is filling, and I think he really accelerates in this character that he's currently doing. So yes, I do like working with him. He's a good guy, and he's a hard worker, and he's good for the team.
I agree with you entirely. I really enjoy watching his work, and it's good to hear that he is on board with the team. Now, Matt, there are some exciting things going on in the wrestling world this week. As we know, it is Royal Rumble weekend. On this episode of The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, we're going to take a trip back all the way to the year 2001 to rewatch the 2001 Royal Rumble match, a match that I don't believe. Have you ever actually seen the full thing through? You're in the match, but have you actually watched the entire Royal Rumble match?
I have not. I have never watched this match back. I know Jeff and I are in the beginning just because I saw some of the clips recently. I think I know who we worked with and who we eliminated. But I'll be honest, I don't remember this match at all. So it's going to be like seeing it again for the very first time.
That's so cool. And you'll tell some great stories of some of the figures in it, because
Exactly.
I believe that this is the last true great event of the Attitude Era, because the Attitude Era effectively comes to an end with WrestleMania that year when Austin and McMahon joined together. And this Royal Rumble match, I think, is one of the better ones in WWE history, honestly. So I'm excited to watch it back with you. For this year's Royal Rumble, let's hear it, man. Who are your picks? Who you got?
Ooh, it's tough, man. It's tough to call because this thing can go in a lot of different directions. It really can.
Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation.
Yes, anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. You are correct about that. I don't know, man. I might even I might even go with this for just the time being. I might even go with John Cena.
So you're saying Cena wins the men's Royal Rumble?
Yes, winning the men's Royal Rumble and seeing John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in a dream match at WrestleMania.
And who wins the women's Rumble? We know Charlotte's going to be in it. They announced her return. Becky Lynch could be back potentially. You got to always think Bianca Belair is a favorite.
Yeah. Of all the girls, especially too, that Charlotte is back and she's going to be in it. I'm going to have to go with Charlotte Flair.
Okay, so a two-time winner in Charlotte Flair. John Cena, if he were to win, I believe this would be his third time winning. Interesting picks. I'm with you on Charlotte. I think Charlotte's going to win. I think she's going to challenge Tiffany Stratton. I gave my bold pick last week where I said I think Jordynne Grace could end up being in the final four for this, even though she's trying to pull a Matt Hardy and throw some red herrings out there on social media saying she won't be there, like you did with WrestleMania 33. On the men's side, I'm going to go with Seth freaking Rollins. I'm going to say he wins, and he ends up having a match at WrestleMania in the main event. But it is a wide open field right now. I think John Cena probably wins the Elimination Chamber and goes on to face Cody at WrestleMania.
Okay.
And I think they want to instill a little more doubt to see if John Cena still got it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's fair too, and I can see them taking that route also.
Yeah, because John Cena hasn't won a singles match since like 2018, so we'll see what ends up coming from that. Okay, my friend, I don't want to waste any more time because we got a big Royal Rumble to watch. But before we can get to that, you know what I got to ask. Please hit us with your Matt fact.
Matt fact: Matt adores the Royal Rumble concept.
Okay, I feel like we can dig a little into that as we start this watch along. So what do you say we get to it?
Let's do it.
Okay, Matt, we are about ready to get this thing started. Now, the video I'm using for reference here, because now we can't just say cue up the cock anymore because most of the world's watching WWE on Netflix, but us in the United States still have some of it on Peacock, so it's hard to find things. So the WWE Vault actually posted a YouTube video of the entire 2001 Royal Rumble match, so that's the reference point for anyone who wants to watch along with us. And it's going to start with Howard Finkel doing the announcements, explaining the rules. Are you ready, my friend?
I am, yeah. This WWE Vault has been a treasure, huh?
Dude, it's amazing. I told you, promotion of the year for 2024, if you ask me. All right, let's do a countdown here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. So here's Finkel, the Fink, going to run down the rules for the Royal Rumble. You just said you love the Royal Rumble concept. So what is it that you really like about it?
I mean, it was one of myself and Jeff, especially when we were younger and we were just big fans before we were obviously in the business. Royal Rumble, we thought was the coolest match ever. Like, it was always unpredictable, you know, who was going to show up. There were so many different options of people that could actually win the match. And as time went on, then you have these surprises, which makes it really exciting to watch the Royal Rumble every single time, every single year. It's just a great concept because it is so unpredictable. And I think that's what makes the Royal Rumble so much fun.
I think if you're talking about casual fans, people who aren't watching every week, this is the match you want to show them because this is most fun to enjoy. And look who's number one, Brother Nero, Jeffrey Hardy.
He was very excited about being number one on this day. He took that as a great honor.
Do wrestlers take that as an honor to be number one?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, number one is it's a huge number. It's one of the more important numbers in the entire match. So yeah, Jeff was very excited to be number one.
And who do we have here from the right to censor? That is Bull Buchanan.
Bull
B
Buchanan's
square.
going to get right on it, man. Get right to it.
Here we go. Any fun Bull Buchanan stories as we start?
You know, we actually worked with Bull Buchanan a little bit at NCW, a place that we worked at called National Championship Wrestling, which kind of tried to mirror ECW. It was a hardcore promotion. And I remember there was a time where he came in, and this was when he was doing the God, what was the name when he was like in the South African group, the Truth Commission. He was a member of the Truth Commission, and he actually was in there and set me up on a table so that I think Jeff could put me through 2 tables that we did. So we did get to work with him a little before, which was pretty neat. We knew him like on a level before we worked with him in WWE.
Well, you got to remember here, folks, this is like peak Hardy Boys popularity in WWE. They are one of the hottest acts on the show. I don't know if you saw, there's someone in the crowd. They had the foam fingers of the Hardy guns, which is kind of cool.
We actually signed 2 or 3 of those foam figures this last weekend. We had insane signings between the TNA signings and the 2 store signings we had. We signed all together for 3, 10, 16 hours over the course of 4 days.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Whew. Love this Royal Rumble set. Love the black ropes. I think that's a nice throwback.
The black ropes do look good, man. And this is just a very good basic start. You know, you have the big guy in there, Bull Buchanan, trying to take advantage of Jeff Hardy being smaller. Jeff's hanging on. He's fighting for his life, sticking and moving. Bull Buchanan was a real strong guy too. A really, really strong performer, strong man in general.
He was B squared with John Cena.
He was.
All right, who's number 3? I recognize that. Here we go.
Hustling. Look at that. Now it's a little more of an even playing field that you have both Hardys together.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Who do you think came up with that idea? Is that like a Michael Hayes sort of thing?
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, it was probably a collaborated effort. I think they wanted to get us in there and have us working together. And I remember they wanted us to make sure that we were competitive against one another whenever we got our opposition out of the ring, which we thought, what if we just kind of like waited until the very end, then someone else came, so we fought less. But they were very adamant on us wrestling one another and trying to eliminate one another too.
I mean, that's got to be so cool for you guys, because this is one of the first few times the mainstream audience gets to see the Hardy Boys face each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was neat too. But, it's one of those things where I feel like you say, like, well, if you're a tag team and you get in a Royal Rumble, if you're a really smart tag team, you're going to work together the entire match, as long as one of you win. But their mentality is that we're both hungry baby faces, and in the spirit of competition, we're going to still duke it out and make the best man win.
Yeah, and you're brothers. So it's like, who's the superior brother?
That's it. I get that mindset. I mean, I get where they're coming from.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're not wrong with what you said, but I think it's fun to see. And like I said, WWE fans really wanted to see you guys go at it, which is kind of cool because neither of you have too many singles opportunities to this point.
I think they like seeing us go at it unless we were like at odds, like when we were against one another. They didn't like it so much. It was tough to make that work, but we eventually did. So this is good. I love this, having good old Ron Simmons into the ring and us doubling up on him.
He doubled up on you right there. Big clothesline.
We can shine this guy up a little bit. Shine this guy up before we shut him down.
That was your payback for the event Omega on him.
Yeah. I don't see that happening again. For anyone who doesn't know the story, after we gave him the event Omega for the first time, and we felt like we took pretty good care of Ron. We were pretty safe with everything. We said, "Hey, we could do that to you again in the next match." He said, "No, I don't see that happening again." He was done with that move. There's a
fun story, by the way. Do you see that guy standing up right there in the tie, the shirt and the tie, dressed like the Right to Censor?
I do.
Okay. Beautiful swanton from Jeff. That was awesome. All the pictures going off. And there goes Farouk.
Flash bulbs, yes.
So that guy standing up, do you know who that is?
I do not.
That is actually Sign Guy. Remember Sign Guy?
Yeah.
In WWE? That's him before he started doing the Sign Guy gimmick.
Okay. I did not know that.
He stands up quite a bit. Okay, now we know business is about to pick up because the shirts have come off for the Hardys.
Yeah. There you have it. Yeah. And they got a little personal too. It got a little personal just because I tried to steal Jeff. I tried to throw him out from behind. So now we're throwing fist.
Is this all just improv with you guys here? Just trying to kill time before?
I think we kind of knew about how much time we're going to have. I think we had things timed out pretty well.
Okay. Gotcha.
So here comes the guy that would ultimately be the guy that might cause our downfall because we fight too much. You have Drew Carey coming down. I remember we thought this was kind of neat in some ways, but we wanted some more people to come down. I think we wanted to double up and double team some more guys. Drew Carey was going to be very selective in the wrestling he was doing.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother. Well, for The Office, it didn't work for The Office, brother.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean, you guys are just going at. You're having a full blown.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Yikes. You're having a full blown Willow and high voltage.
You see that though? I realized he like barely touched me, and I pulled back on it because he was going to drop kick me, and I was going to go out. So I did. I had no idea how it looked, but I did what I could to salvage it.
Oh, you were going to go over the top but not be eliminated?
Yeah, that was the plan from the drop kick. So then I obviously pulled back.
Gotcha.
So we had an idea here, and Jeff still to this day loves it. And I wasn't crazy about it. It was his idea. We were connected there. There was something that was around our wrist, like his bands were. They were like around my wrist, and as he threw me down and eliminated me, it forced him to come over too because it pulled him over as well.
But the camera didn't really catch that.
No, the camera didn't really. It's a big Jeff Hardy thing. Jeff, thought it was super cool because it was his idea. But it was. I know they wanted a double elimination. We had a couple. I feel like we had a couple other ideas we were talking about doing that they may have shut down because they were a little bigger. But they wanted us to be gone at the same time, so the ring would be empty for Drew Carey and the Big Red Machine Kane. This
is such a great, iconic Royal Rumble spot, though. I love this.
Yeah,
he's begging you guys to come back in the ring and help.
Yeah, right.
Was Drew Carey cool? Was he cool to work with you?
Yeah, he was real nice. He was very cordial, very nice, very easygoing. I remember he told us after, he said, like, "Oh my God, you guys were doing so many things in there. How do you walk the next day?"
Oh, goodness gracious. This is when Kane is at his most badass, in my opinion. Like, this is the Kane that should have been a world champion. He is unbelievable in this era.
Yeah.
And there he is. Staring down Drew Carey.
It was great, too, just how walk around the ring, just eating up time. But the way they're eating up the time is like you're building tension for this rivalry between Kane and someone who is a celebrity.
Gonna get the Kane pyro. This is good stuff, man. I enjoy this.
And now he's trying to be friendly with him. He's trying to befriend him.
Shaking hands.
I mean, this is it. This is sports entertainment at its best. And gives him what, $1? Giving him a little cash, trying to pay him off, trying to buy him.
Oh boy, he gets goozled.
There you have it.
Raven running to the ring, goes up. Kane holding him up there.
Down good and easy.
Buddy, I have stolen this spot in 2 battle royals I've been in. There he goes, right over the top. See you later.
There you have it. There you have it. That worked out well.
Yeah. It was good business.
And then right back to the match. I just saw Scotty when we were in Atlanta at the TNA tapings recently. He did like an appearance on TNA television, I know.
I was gonna say, did you get a chance to work with him all that closely?
I worked with him. There was a point in time where after WCW was purchased, and there were a lot of times where I would work with Stevie and Raven, and sometimes Jeff and I on Heat or different combinations of things. But we did a few things too with them on Raw. Those things kind of transcended. But yeah, I got to work with them pretty often.
This is going to become
worked with him on the road a lot too.
This is going to become the first and only hardcore Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Here's Al Snow, who hasn't even entered the match officially yet.
There you have it.
Yeah, we did a tape study on my Wrestling According to Alba, and we did the hardcore battle royal at WrestleMania 2000, and it might be the worst match in WWE history. It is atrocious.
Which one?
The hardcore scramble at WrestleMania 2000.
Oh, I see.
It is atrocious, and it's because of tomfoolery like this. But I think in the Rumble match, it's kind of fun because you don't have to worry about hitting time that much. You can just have some fun with it, and there's a lot of improv involved. So
there is too. One of the cool things about the Rumble is how it can kind of transition from like you have two guys in there. Say you have a couple great technical wrestlers, and they have a great technical wrestling couple minutes for whatever. Then you have like some hardcore guys who come in there and they do stuff like this. It can change the look and feel and vibe of, and it kind of morphs all throughout the Royal Rumble, which I think is very neat about these things. One of my fondest memories of Scotty is of Raven. Obviously, I love the stuff he did in ECW, right? Love the stuff he did in ECW with Dreamer and just his whole character of Raven, quote the Raven nevermore. I'll never forget whenever ECW, we were there as extras, and ECW invaded WWE that night, and then there was the deal where they spit in Sabio's face. So we saw them at a restaurant after the show, and I remember they came up, and I remember he was just so like trying to like. So did you talk to a lot of the guys? What did they think? What was the vibe like backstage? Did they want to fight us? What was the vibe? What was the vibe? What was the vibe? I mean, and it was like obviously the office knew, they knew what was going on, but I remember he was just trying to get intel from us to see if we knew anything about what the reception was of them showing up at that WWE show.
Yeah, his WWE run wasn't much to talk about, but he was excellent in ECW. Had a decent
once again, I mean, in ECW, he was put in a position to succeed, and Paul used his strengths to the max, and everything he did there was great. His promos, we loved him there.
He also was in a WrestleMania match with Kane this year. A lot of people thought Kane was going to be closer to the main event picture, but they ended up doing a hardcore match with Big Show and Kane, and that's kind of what this is all the setup for.
Yes.
Here's Perry Saturn.
There you have it.
Right before Moppy, and you're welcome.
Yeah, that was an interesting period for sure. The Moppy and you're welcome.
Bit of a punishment for him, if I'm not mistaken.
That would not surprise me.
Yeah.
I don't know the official backstory on that, but that wouldn't surprise me.
I think it's alleged he went to town on an enhancement talent in a match and like legitimately hurt them. And there was some lawsuit stuff potentially filed. And I think his payback for that was losing his push and falling in love with a mop.
There you have it. It was quite the attractive mop, though.
Your words, not mine. Jeremy Lambert on Fightful is going to have a headline that says Matt Hardy thinks Moppy was an attractive mop.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Get those clickbait headlines out, guys. Get those clickbait headlines out.
All right. So here's a tactic we see in a lot of Rumbles. All the guys try to gang up on the big guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I liked how they did that. It was a little different, had a different vibe to it.
So it's like every Rumble you hear, how are they going to throw the Big Show out of the ring? How are they going to
I feel like every time, like if we're in there with the Big Show, they say, all right, everybody beat him down, beat him down, beat him down. And then when there's time, the big guy explodes out of the pile and everybody goes flying. Yep. That was a very overdone spot for a long time.
It's a classic Battle Royal spot.
Yeah.
Here's your boy, Steve Blackman, Lethal Weapon.
Steve Blackman. Come on, Steve. Tell us how many people you've killed. Tell us.
Oh,
look at him. He's in his environment.
Oh, boy. Okay. Big stiff shots from Steve Blackman.
There we go.
My one critique about this so far, Matt, is aside from Kane, we haven't seen a single person that you could conceivably believe is going to win the match.
That makes sense, but I feel like too, it's probably at this time, they're trying to hold the majority of those people off to the second half, just to kind of fill time. I feel like it wasn't, they didn't have as stacked of a roster as they do now or currently, especially with guys who are like top tier guys who could very much feasibly win the match. So I feel like they were probably trying to just kind of keep it full and keep it interesting and keep it fun, keep it entertaining for the first half, the first 15.
Kurt is the champion at this time, so you will not be seeing him in this match.
And who do we have? Who did Kurt wrestle on this show?
Kurt wrestled, I want to say, Triple H on this show. Let me see.
So when they were doing the whole angle with Steph.
That's off the top of the noggin here. Let's see. He wrestled Triple H, correct?
Yes. There's Brian Lawler. Brian Christopher was such a talented guy. He was like such a good worker, and he was like well versed, and like he could call spots and go out there and do that if you kind of call the whole deal, or if you just want to go out in the ring and call it Memphis style. He was very, very well versed at doing that as well. He was a really talented guy, though.
I was gonna say, what's the best attribute he took from his father in terms of in-ring?
I would probably just say like the entertainment aspect. He was a solid worker. I feel like he didn't waste stuff. He was he would really make sure everything meant something. If you see him doing something, it means something in a match, especially in just like a standard tag or singles match he's doing.
Well, I say it all the time on this podcast. There are a few acts that were as over as Too Cool was in the height of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, they were crazy popular. I think it's easy for people to forget how popular they were.
Well, he just took a chair shot. He took a trash can shot to the head, and that eliminated him. So
yeah, he was in and out too, man. All right, here we go. This is Kane going on free.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh my goodness!
Here we go. I feel like we might see Kane clear the ring here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're out of the hardcore phase.
Yeah, so is that how these producers kind of set this up? It's like chapters where the first third of the matches is like hardcore match, and now you're done with it?
No, I think so. They definitely put a ton of stories in all the matches.
And look who we got. The greatest intercontinental champion of all time, the Honky Tonk.
There he goes, surprise return. He's so funny. I'll never forget, we were doing an indie show right before Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows were about to go to WWE, and Honky Tonk Man was there signing, and I was there working too, and it was my first time meeting those guys. It was before they went to WWE, right before. And he said, listen, I'm going to tell you one thing, Carl Anderson. He said, if you go out there and you take one motherfucking bump tonight, you're the dumbest son of a bitch I ever met. He said, you're getting ready to go to WWE. He said, what are you going to take a chance getting hurt out here in front of 200 people or whatever it was? Very funny.
Well, this is your quintessential sports entertainer.
No,
right here.
100% is.
Were the young Hardys honky tonk haters?
I think we were kind of indifferent. I mean, we thought some of the stuff he did was pretty entertaining, but we didn't like buy into him fully like as a heel. We despised or whatever. But I just remember too, it was very annoying. He's like the greatest the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time. For the longest time, he could run with that. So that was one thing that definitely got heat from us.
Big Red Machine showing quite a bit of patience here, surprising amount even.
There you have it.
And there it goes. Big pop from the crowd on that one.
Yeah. People love a good guitar smash over the head.
That's true. Double J made an entire career out of it.
He truly did. All right, here we go. Now get all that hardcore, get all the toys out of the ring. Here we go. We got to have another big guy coming out, right? We're going to have, like, in 2025, what they call the meat match.
Well, based on the crowd reaction, I'd say we got a big star, Matt Hardy, and it is your boy, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
It's the final boss.
Did you see he was MFing on his way to the ring there?
Oh, I'm sure he was. I just saw something. I just saw an interview, something Taker did from a podcast or whatever else, where he said, he asked Rock, he said, hey, whenever you're beating my ass like that, can you at least look me in the eye when you do it? He said he'd be looking at the screen watching himself, seeing how cool he looked when he was beating me up. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. He said he was watching the Titantron when he was beating him.
It did pop me though, because I could see that. I could see that happening. That sounds on brand for Rocky.
Look how many flashbulbs are going off every time Rock does something.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I missed the flashbulbs. They were amazing. They made things seem so much more historic and iconic, right? Whenever you see those photos with all the flashbulbs in the back, they were so great.
Do you wish you could see some of those pictures today? Like every now and then one will surface on the internet. They'll be like, oh, this picture was taken at 2001 Royal Rumble. And
yeah.
It's just so cool.
Yep. There's a real cool one of us doing Event Omega, either I think WrestleMania 2000, where we're like, and Jeff's in the splash, and I'm in the leg drop, and there's all the flashes going off behind. They look majestic. They look so great.
Remarkable how quickly they cleaned the ring out.
Yeah.
Got the two biggest stars in the ring now.
And they also, they cut around people pulling the stuff out too. They shot it well.
Who do we got here? Is this the Good Father? It sure is the Good Father. How'd old Papa Shango feel about going good?
Well, I know he wasn't a fan of it at first. I feel like once he knew it was going to have him back on TV in a pretty good spot, he embraced it a little bit. Pretty much in and out. Then we're right back to Rock and Kane.
Talk about by the numbers. My goodness.
I mean, because I can't tell you this, like Godfather, I mean, he said his heart and soul, Good Father, his heart and soul was Godfather, because he felt like that was the closest to him. That's how he acts in normal everyday life. And he said, just getting to do that was the best, because I just get to be me, turned up to the max.
Can't say Right to Censor didn't have legit heat though, man. People hated it.
They did. They were, even when we would work against those guys, sometimes it was a little, for Jeff and I, we worked with them on the road quite a bit. And sometimes it would be a little frustrating because they couldn't do the cooler stuff, nor should they have been doing the cooler stuff, but they always had great heat. And our matches were always like, people were emotionally connected and emotionally involved in them, because they hated Right to Censor. They had so much heat. They were genuinely despised.
Having like a mini match here between Rock and Kane.
Yeah, they're going back and forth. Maybe we'll see this trend even continue a little more coming up here.
Who's up next? Let's see.
Yeah, I remember nothing about this match. This is like seeing it for my first time ever.
Here comes Taz.
Taz, number 13. Uh-oh.
Man. Okay, I mean, come on now.
I think this was Taz had heat at one point. I think this is the time where they decided to. There was a point in time where Taz rubbed people the wrong way, and they didn't do much of anything with him. They punished him to a degree. So I think we're in that period, or this period. It just began around this time.
Well, keep in mind, he debuts at the Royal Rumble the year prior.
Yeah,
beats Kurt Angle, becomes the first person to beat Kurt Angle. And
to huge fanfare too.
Yeah, and the story allegedly is that on one of the suplexes he almost hurt Kurt, and that was enough for people to sour on him, because people backstage were super high on Kurt, obviously, at the time. And Taz's trajectory from that point was pretty much doomed as an in-ring performer. I mean, that was ridiculous. He came in got sat up on the turnbuckle and then was just essentially bitch slapped off the top, and that was that.
That's
brutal.
it.
Politics galore, Matt Hardy.
Oh, in this day and age, for sure, it was politics were unrivaled.
So take me through this right here. We've seen a lot of like Irish whips and shoulder tackles and punches, and like there just kind of looked like there might have been a small miscommunication. Is a lot of transitional stuff like this between spots often called on the fly?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is. I mean, just depending, because you kind of end up trying to see where you are with your time too. You just know when you're getting to a point and your time is about to tick and someone else is coming, you need to get to a certain spot or be in a certain position. Well, hell. There he is.
Finally, someone that matches up with Kane's size a little bit.
Right. He's throwing those big haymakers. His role in TNA has become kind of interesting too. Just how like Joe Hendry was out there and there was some attempted interference and he was going to hit him with the title or whatever while the ref was knocked out, and then he shut down Matt Cardona. How he's like protecting the champion, which it's interesting. I feel like it makes me wonder what his ultimate motives are going to be for protecting the champion, whoever's the current champion.
Arrive, clothesline, leave. That's what he's been saying. Could you see our boy John having a match in 2025 maybe?
Yeah, I'd definitely be willing to bet he'll have a match in 2025.
That's wild.
I would be willing to bet.
He's retired a couple times.
He has. He's also got his stem cell treatments. He's got a couple rounds of them, I think. So we'll see. We'll see how well he's feeling himself.
Again, one of my favorite things about wrestling and how it's evolved the last decade or so is that people who are in their 50s or even later sometimes are still given opportunities to show what they can do. And I think that's really cool. And, you know, back around this time, if you were 40, you were past your expiration date. And that's no longer the case.
Yeah. I mean, times have changed. Mindsets have changed, which I think is cool. Especially I think if there's star power and talent are older and they have star power and you use them within the realm of their strengths, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it helps the overall show.
Here's Albert.
There we go. Matt Bloom. The A in TNA.
So now, that's what the A stands for? I thought it was something else.
The A.
And now we got all the big men here.
Yeah, we're in the big man section of the match. So we had the short little thing, the tag team dominates, and the little hardcore thing, and then we had the Kane versus Rock rivalry, and now we got the big guy, the meaty guys in the ring battling it out.
All three pretty athletic big men, though, for that time especially.
Yeah, no, for sure. Did you say all three?
Yeah, all three of them. I mean, you know, Bradshaw was a big hoss.
Yeah.
Albert, I always thought Matt Bloom was a really underrated big man. And we know Kane's one of the best big men of all time. So
for sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Matt Bloom was very, very, very talented. He got stuck with some rough personas, I think. You know, I don't know what would have been the best direction to go with him, but he made the most out of whatever he had to work with. He was a very solid worker and a great athlete.
You see, they put the old time towers up for sale and they made them, they were purchased to become apartments.
I did see that. Yes.
Brian Gewirtz quote tweeted the news post about it and was like, "You too can live in the place where Lord Tensai became a dancer."
Oh yeah, that's right. He did.
Yeah.
He was with Brodus Clay. That's right.
Sure was. All right, we got all the ass kickers in the ring. Bob Holly now.
Yeah. Look at that.
We got
the ass kickers and the enforcers. The enforcers of the locker room that make the the new young rookies have nightmares at night.
Did Bob Holly ever come after you as a rookie?
No, we were, we never had any issues with Bob Holly, but I can tell you, just working with him too, like he was snug, man. He was, if you're working with him, you're going to be in there fighting for sure. I'll never forget. There was one time where we did a deal where he had set me up on the top rope, like he was coming up to back suplex me. I was going to knock him off, and then he was going to go down. I was going to moonsault him, and I remember he set me up and he hit me so hard across the spine with a forearm that like my legs went numb. He just like hit me so hard. It was shocking, and I was like, I'm going to need a minute. And then he came up, and I was just like trying to fight him off with the elbows, and finally, after a few seconds later, but man, he rocked my world when I was up on that turnbuckle when he hit me from behind. He hit me so hard.
Almost gave you a stinger.
I mean, it shocked me. It's crazy how hard it shocked me and like made my legs feel numb for a few seconds.
The big red machine teetering on the outside. Is that
Rock has to pump before he hits those kicks. There's a little pump.
It's always the best. It's always the best. Is there ever worry when you're in a battle royal rumble that like, oh look, here's your boy K Quick, not to be confused with R-Truth. K Quick, get rowdy.
There he is.
But is there ever worry about what happens if I fall out early because I'm just trying to get too crafty and creative with the ropes?
I mean, maybe, but I'm just saying, like, don't do anything dumb that you don't know you can't do. Just make smart, calculated risk that you're not going to fall out. Don't do things out of your realm of, out of the realm of your ability. It's still crazy. Even looking at Truth, he still looks so similar, man.
He looks the same. He looks exactly the same.
Tis a vampire.
His hair's a little longer.
Yeah.
I was into K Quick and Road Dogg Get Rowdy.
Yeah. He's now especially just such an entertaining character, just across the board, man. He is the epitome of an entertainer.
For my money, Matt, R-Truth is the greatest comedy wrestler in history.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
There's a short list that he's on, and I think it's him. Probably Santino is up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short list, and he's on it.
There you have it. Ooh, it's a big stiff boot by Bradshaw to the big red machine.
Maybe a poker game gone awry or something of that nature.
Maybe. What's so funny is that they think about these tough guys. Like Glenn was never one to run with those crowds, and not a poker player, not a drinker, not a hanger out, or just very much by the books.
Have better sex with BlueChew. BlueChew is the original brand offering chewable tablets. These erection-enhancing tablets help men achieve stronger, harder, and longer-lasting erections for sexual activities. You see, BlueChew is putting its money where its mouth is and is offering you a month for free. This process is so simple, too. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. BlueChew tablets are made in the United States and prepared and shipped directly to your door. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. And the best part, it's all done online. That means no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Matt Hardy lives a busy life. The guy is on the road like 4 to 5 days a week sometimes, and he never knows when the opportunity is going to strike over in House Hardy with that whole gaggle there running amok. He's got to make sure that when the moment strikes, he's ready to strike as well, and he does so with BlueChew. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of BlueChew free. Just visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BlueChew for sponsoring the extreme life of Matt Hardy. Here's Val Venus.
There we go. Val Venus in that right to censor. That was a big shock when his character went from his porn star image to the corporate image. Vince was going to get his parody. He was going to get his parody in the RTC, no doubt about it.
He's getting his Venus kicked here by Kane. Ring's filling up a bit, though. You got more and more people in there, getting a little crowded. Let's see where we are in terms of entrance.
There was a big spear. Yeah, even right here, I feel like they're like they don't really have an idea of what they're doing. They're waiting for the next guy to come. It's supposed to trigger something big because everybody's just kind of in neutral now, not really doing anything. Like there's no acceleration, there's no spots. It's big downtime right now.
So the next entrance, in theory, should be a cue for the next chain of events to start.
Yeah, I mean the way it looks, I'm guessing this next entrance is going to come in here, and they're going to get fed. And this is just me guessing because they're not trying to really eliminate anyone. They're just in there doing some wrestling, some battling. I would imagine the next entry is a big entry, and people are going to feed this guy. Maybe they're not.
This is number 21 here.
I guess we shall see.
And it is none other than William Regal.
Oh, because he could be in and out too. What was he doing at this time? He was just doing William Regal.
He's the European champion.
Because I feel like that little spot there was kind of like the biggest lull the match had thus far. You know, and we may be getting there too because everybody's just kind of, once again, there's no advancement of the match happening right now, you know.
The Southpaw William Regal. Is it a challenge when you're working with someone, and this may sound like a mundane question, but is it a challenge when you're working with someone who is left-handed? Like, does that require any sort of a readjusting with positioning on stuff?
Typically, no. It's not like a big deal. You kind of react like normal if they're striking or whatever. But I would say probably the one thing that would change if you guys do have some sort of particular sequence or a spot you want to work where the move you do is particularly, you need to be fed the right arm. You know, you need to make sure to work those things out because those things could get sketchy if you're telling someone like swing at me or, you know, clothesline me, whatever. And then, you know, then they might naturally come with the left. So that's just kind of where you have to kind of figure those things out maybe ahead of time, or at least tell them there on the fly.
It's good insight.
Once again, it's still, you know, it looks like a holding period. You know, we're circling the plane, waiting for something big to happen, a big landing.
Well, my gut tells me, and I haven't watched this in a while, but my gut tells me the ring is filling up so that a big entrant can come in to clean it out.
Right.
Here's
Andrew
Taz,
Martin.
one of your old boys at the Funkin' Dojo.
Yeah. There we go. Get him an elimination, shining him up a little bit.
TNA fighting here.
TNA going at TNA.
Again, you know, say what you want about Test. Dude had $1 million look.
I had a great look, man. And he was talented. He was very athletic, had a great look, good body. He was a pretty charismatic guy too, in the big scheme of things. He was funny.
But I think he's one of those guys, and you've talked about this before. Behind the scenes, they're really charismatic, and you know them as people, but I don't think that translated on screen.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly so. I mean, I think the best thing you could have done is ask him to just be himself. You know what I mean? Because he was a guy who you could tell he'd spent his life getting the hot girls and kind of doing what he's doing. Like people, you know, think he's cool. They're the guy in the room they want to hang around. You know, and he kind of that radiated from him whenever you were around him. So if they could have brought more of that out, if they brought Andrew Martin out of Test, maybe it would have been a better fit to try and just have him be more of himself.
Ring is really filling up here as we get number 23 coming. My gut says that pretty soon we're going to have someone clear some house here. So let's see.
There's got to be some house clearing coming up very soon.
Ah, there we go. This is a returning Big Show because if you remember, Big Show was sent down to OVW in 2000.
There he is. The Big Show's back.
Look at all those flash bulbs.
No more BS.
There goes
Test. Is Big Show still with AEW now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He is.
Yeah, remember the shot of him and the Rizzler walking down the aisle?
I do remember that. I just feel like I haven't seen him in so long. I do remember seeing that, though.
It's not used too much. Oh, boy.
There we go. Look at that. Get up there, John. Get up there. I'm telling you, Val, you should have attacked him while he had his back turned. You shouldn't have waited on him to turn around like that.
I always liked his choke slam because he really drives them into the ground. That feels like the point of the move. You should be trying to do that. There you go. Fall to his knees each time.
Right. Uh-oh.
I've got two guys who would fight forever. I feel like Big Show and Kane always fought.
Yeah, for sure.
They'd team up, then they'd fight. They'd team up, then they'd fight.
Kane being a guy who does the choke slams was going to get up for him. Ooh.
Now, if you recall, Matt, the year prior, Rock eliminated Big Show to win the Royal Rumble, even though there was a dispute over it. And now he eliminates him again.
So this was a little callback.
Correct. Because the year prior, they were supposed to go out at the same time, and Rock was supposed to be the one who touched last. But in actuality, Big Show's feet touched last. His feet touched last. So the winner should have been the Big Show, but instead they kept it with The Rock. So now this is a little callback to that where Big Show is reasonably pissed off with The Rock. Yes.
Now he's all upset.
And here comes Crash Holly. I gotta say, the ring didn't clear as much as I thought it was gonna.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. All right, so now we got the Big Show. He's gonna put Rocky through a table here. There you have it. So now the Rock is not eliminated, but gets to sit out there and rest and just chill for a little bit because the Big Show was angry. Sure, commentary saying, "Oh my God, the Rock is done. We get this man an ambulance. He'll never be able to.
Take him to the local medical facility, right?
Yes, take him to a local medical facility. That is one of the craziest things ever. I don't want to hear the word hospital, just medical facility. That is one of the wildest change of terms that I've ever heard.
Did Vince ever give you a jurisdiction on something not to say?
I remember they were he was real adamant that the championships or titles could not be called belts. I remember that was one time we talked about something and we mentioned, but I said, it's not a belt, damn it. A belt is what you put in your blue jeans, what you put in your trousers. That's a belt. This is not a belt. It's a championship. It's a title. So he was pretty adamant on that. That was the one I can think about because maybe in like a rehearsal or something, somebody said belt, Jeff or I. He let us know he was not a fan of that word. Oh, here we go.
Business is about to pick up.
Look at that. It's the American Badass, Biker Taker.
Here we go. Coming to the aid of his brother.
Yeah.
See, he's helping his brother. You got
right. Let's see if they fight. If they clear the ring, if they'll fight. I'm going to be upset with I'm going to be upset with the booking if they don't. All right, the Brothers of Destruction are going to clear the ring here.
That's a fun spot. Listen, man, Brothers of Destruction were awesome.
Yeah. I got to say too, man, I think Taker was so happy he got to be the American Badass and Biker Taker, because that was very close to like his real personality. I feel like that's more of who he sees himself as. So I'm sure as much love and much reverence he has for Undertaker, the classic Undertaker, I'm sure he was very happy he got to do this because that was fun.
This is really him too, because his hair's not even dyed here. This is like redhead Mark Calloway.
Right.
Because then when he became Big Evil, he dyed his hair jet black, cut it.
Right. Are they going to go at it or not?
No, it doesn't appear so. They're going to be smart.
I don't know. They're facing off, teasing it. I would just rather have them turn towards the entryway and just like wave the next person on, like, come on here.
Oh boy. Unfortunate draw for Scotty.
Yeah. A very, very good sell on the way out.
See, Scotty's going to do something dumb here, Matt.
Yeah.
There's no rule that says you got to get in the ring. He should sit there on that entranceway and wait until he gets some backup.
Scotty too hotty with the top is cut out of that hat and that hair sticking up, man.
God. Oh man.
Look at that.
Just laying waste to him.
Whew. Scotty got a rough pick.
Sure did. Double ride. That wasn't too bad. They took care of him. You know who's loving this, Matt? The referee on the outside. His name is Theodore Long. He's seeing Holla Holla tag team match with The Undertaker.
That's it, player.
Oh, look who's stirring.
There you have it.
Now help me out here. Who's giving him the cue? Is that a referee getting his ear saying, hey, like Scotty just got thrown out, get ready?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because all of those refs have an earpiece in. They're all getting fed times.
And that cue for him to like start moving is like, oh, hey, Scotty got eliminated. Now it's time for you to start moving.
That would be my guess, yeah.
You weren't kidding when he said you backloaded this Rumble, man. Here come all the stars.
Definitely backloaded. And his look is great coming down here into the ring with these monsters.
Oh, the side swipes him. The man who would be working with him in just a couple months against you guys.
Yeah. There he is, the man with 3 H's.
On second thought, it might have been a good idea that Scotty Too Hotty didn't wait on the entranceway.
Right.
Talking about some of the biggest stars in the company here, man. Triple H, Stone Cold, Rock, Austin, Kane.
Yeah, do you have an idea where we're at number-wise?
I believe, if my memory serves me correct, Austin was 27. So, yes, the next one will be 28. And if my memory serves me correct, 28 will be a good pal of yours, a longtime friend, someone you've worked with all across the territories.
Mm-hmm.
Austin busted open already.
There you have it. Red equals green. Or so they say.
Just kind of surprising they had 2 people taken out already in Rock and Austin. Here comes number 28, and it is the one, Billy Gunn, with his dyed hair.
Yeah. Looking very young.
I'm sure the one Billy Gunn is your favorite Billy Gunn character.
I love all the Billy Gunn characters.
He was collateral from the right to censor because they won a stipulation that said that he couldn't be Mr. Ass anymore.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's how he became the one.
That's when he was repackaged.
The greatest athlete, the greatest pure athlete in the World Wrestling Federation. Don't you forget that.
Well, they wouldn't let us forget it. They continue to buzz us on it every week, which is how you do it. That's how you make people remember those things, though.
Okay, so we got 4 active people in the ring, and we got 5 total in the match because Austin is on the outside.
Right.
Setting up a little detour with he and Triple H.
And what do we have? 29 and 30 left?
29 and 30. Now, we knew ahead of time that 30, because he won a qualifying match. I wish they did more of these now. They don't do them really anymore. But Rikishi won a qualifying match to be number 30. So we know he's 30. But 29 is a mystery. Who could it be? Three seconds.
And 'tis.
You know, we're in the dying days of WCW here, and look who it is.
There we go.
It is Haku.
Haku.
Meng.
Dangerous, one of the most dangerous and feared men in the business, but one of the sweetest guys too.
Any good Haku stories?
There was a time when we were in Japan and Haku was on the loop, and he's very respected in Japan, obviously, as you know. We were all out. We were at Roppongi, a whole bunch of us, and I remember there was someone who was very drunk or whatever it was, and they started troubles with some of the WWE crew that was in there, and there was an altercation broke out, and ended up Haku told, he said, "Leave, everybody leave," and he like put a Tongan death grip on this guy and like laid him out, and then left. He said, I'll be fine." He like knew people in the bar and whatnot. As you hear the stories about him, and it's crazy to be there and experience one of them.
Of course, Tongaloa, his birth son, and then Tama Tonga and Hikuleo, his adopted sons. That bloodline is real, man.
It's very real, yeah. I mean, that's what makes it so great, is the legitimacy of it.
Kind of cool for Rock to be in there with his adopted uncle too.
Yep.
This was a big surprise because Meng had just become the WCW Hardcore Champion, and here he is showing up in WWE.
Right. I remember I was so excited that we got to wrestle. We had to wrestle him one night because I always thought he was cool back as Haku. I dug his stuff. We had a match with him and Rikishi, which could have even been like the night after this. I don't know. It was it was around this time.
Well, he's a bad, bad man, Matt Hardy.
There he is.
He's a bad man, that Rikishi.
There you go. Save those Samoans for last.
Give him credit. They were trying to do everything they could to push him as like just big, evil, bad final boss guy. And I'm not sure fans were willing to embrace it because he was such a beloved babyface.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things. Sometimes in pro wrestling, especially around this time when people started, understanding the business better, and there's obviously more information available. It was starting to get out there. Sometimes when you become such a beloved babyface that people really connect with on that level and they want to cheer for you, sometimes it does get really difficult to become a diehard heel.
There goes Haku.
All right, now we got a whole bunch of guys in the fight, and yes, they did backload this thing, keeping a bunch of names in there. You've got Kane, who's been in since number, what was he, 6 maybe?
I think he was 5. Yeah,
6, 5. I think he was 6. I think it was Jeff. It was Bull Buchanan.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bull.
3,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was
Ron,
6. He was 6.
Drew Carey, and then Kane.
Yep. I miscounted. So he's been in there since 6, which is interesting because, in a lot of Rumbles, you have the Iron Man and then you have the guy who cleans house. He's doing both of those in this match.
Yeah, that's true.
For a big man, too, to be the Iron Man, that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a freak athlete in his prime.
Yeah, no, he was. I love how Taker's selling these headbutts. He's headbutting Rikishi, and his head is so hard that it's hurting Taker.
Look at that. Rikishi.
Oh, Rikishi with a big elimination.
Well, they were boys, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't mind doing the honors.
Yeah, no, Taker didn't. But for a, from a perspective standpoint, that was a big elimination for Rikishi.
Sure. He would get hurt not long after this, so he wouldn't even be on WrestleMania. But I'm curious if they were trying to set something up between the two of them at some point.
Yeah, possibly that could have been something that was going to kick off an issue.
Oh boy. See, this is the problem, man. Like doing all this fun stuff as a heel, it doesn't really work well. Rock just laying in a few low blows in this match, not giving a shit about it. And there goes Rikishi.
Yeah.
Crowd came up for it.
100%. I mean, Rock knows what to do Rock knows what to do to get a reaction, no doubt.
What do you think about Billy Gunn being in the Final 4 here? It seems like a pretty big badge of honor.
Yeah, I mean, they hoped Billy Gunn could turn into something, I mean, he was super athletic. He could have good matches. He had a good attitude. He was a company guy, so yeah, I mean, I see why they did. I don't think he developed into who they hoped he would be, but I do think they were hoping he would.
Man, I did a whole episode on the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. You can check that out in the archives, extremehardy.com. We talked a lot about Billy and the struggles he had in climbing the ladder in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, Final 3.
There we go, yeah.
Every Rumble's got one of these spots, too, where you get your final 2 or 3 guys in there and they have that stare down.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, here we go.
Steve, that blood does a lot for him.
Sure does. Anytime Rock and Austin mix it up, the crowd's going to be there for it.
Very much so, yeah. I mean, I feel like, these years, these guys are probably the 2 biggest representatives of the company. The last, from 98 to 2001, 2002-ish, whatever.
If you weren't alive at the time or weren't watching as a fan at the time, I don't think it can be really stated properly. So I don't think it can be stated properly just how popular Rock and Austin were. It was truly 1A, 1B.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was.
Because when Austin gets hurt and he's gone for a year, Rock steps into that position and becomes a megastar.
Yes. I mean, he grabbed the torch and he ran like hell with it.
I mean, they literally put him in Austin's position where he starts feuding with the corporate entity.
Right.
Here we go. Slugging away. Rock bottom. And what I love about this map, this Final 3, it is truly conceivably, I don't know who's going to win this.
Right.
Any 3 of these guys could have conceivably won the Royal Rumble.
Yes, correct. They're 3 of the top guys who would have been 3 of the top picks in the Royal Rumble.
Kane goes through the ropes. He has not been eliminated.
Interesting spot. I'm sure that's going to grow into something. Sure, that was done for a very specific reason.
I would imagine part of it too is just to get us more Solo, Rock, and Austin teasery, because we know that's where we're heading for WrestleMania. These two.
Right. There we go. He's got him scooped up in a scoop slam. Can't successfully get him out of the ring, though.
Good drama.
And vice versa.
Oh, here comes Kane. Dumping the Rock.
There we go. They just want people to forget about him real quick so he can come in and get that Rock elimination.
It's a big deal, man. Eliminating the Rock.
Yeah.
Pretty clean, too. It's down to Austin and Kane.
Mm.
Going for the ride.
Boom. Little short choke slam.
Kane set the Royal Rumble record at the time for eliminations in this match with 11.
Yeah. Was it this match?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, he eliminated like 6 in that hardcore spot, so.
Right.
Poor Taz.
You have all the sympathy for Taz.
Yeah, I do have sympathy for Taz. Another low blow. It's a good way to get the big men down, I guess. I don't know how our friends at BlueChew would feel about that.
I don't know either, man. Actually, they might feel good because they need a BlueChew now to get things up and running.
Recover a little bit. Kane back to the outside. You know, if we're fans of long-term storytelling here, this match started with some hardcore shenanigans. Maybe it needs to end with some. Grabbing the chair. But perhaps, Matt Hardy, it's a MacGuffin.
Stone Cold and Kane. Who do you think people were predicting to win this match at this point now?
I would think they were probably behind Austin winning this, but
yeah.
I mean, the way Kane's been presented in this entire match, it's like you can't doubt that there's a legitimate chance of him winning.
Right. He has been booked and presented very strong throughout the entire match, no doubt.
I mean, this is literally trying to slay Goliath here.
Yeah. Let's well, I was gonna say let's see, but let's CTE what he can do with this chair.
This are not kidding. Ugh. Here we go.
All right.
There he goes.
There we go. There's the elimination. And your winner of the 2001 Royal Rumble, Stone Cold Steve Austin, who would now go into WrestleMania 17 to fight for the title, correct?
He indeed would, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
He would go on to face The Rock at WrestleMania 17, because The Rock would be Kurt Angle the next month to win the WWF Championship, and then they would face off at WrestleMania 17, where Austin joins McMahon.
Yeah.
And the Attitude Era officially comes to a close.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think about that Royal Rumble? It's your first time watching it back.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was good. It was solid. It's not the best Rumble I've ever seen, but it was good.
What worked about it and what didn't, Matt?
One thing I think that I do agree with you. There was there wasn't a huge number of people that you really think were going to win the match. And they did kind of back end it on that. And I understand. I mean, that makes sense if you know how many you have to work with when you're booking and putting together. I just feel like now, you know, in the Rumble coming up here, in a couple days, which will be happening on Saturday when people hear this. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that could be possible winners. You know what I mean? So it's going to all throughout, there's going to be people entering that seem like they could possibly win the Royal Rumble, which is great. The more equity you have in people that they are top guys and they could be earning a shot for the heavyweight title at WrestleMania, it makes it that much more exciting. So I saw a little bit of an issue. It seemed like there was a limited number of people in this match that could win, but overall it was still a good quality, entertaining Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I think that it would have benefited from having some of those bigger names earlier in the match, and you have a more equal displacement of talent. But I understand how you're really stacking the odds against Austin at the end with having all that great talent in the ring, and there's no one really taking up space, if that makes sense. So I think that made a lot of sense. What do you think of Kane's presentation?
Kane had a great presentation in the Royal Rumble. The longest guy in the Royal Rumble, the most eliminations. I remember he'd broken the record, and I guess it was this match. So he was presented very strong in a very a win-win way. I mean, even not winning, he stayed in there to the very end. He won in this Rumble, no doubt. Good stuff all the way around. I love Royal Rumble season. It is definitely one of my favorite events too. And I have no doubt it's going to be a great Royal Rumble this weekend in Indianapolis, especially Matt Hardy, because we are going to be there in Indianapolis. Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Party, the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy live after SmackDown, talking Royal Rumble 2000, the iconic tag team tables match followed by a live acoustic concert with Brother Nero. Get your tickets, WrestleCon.com. This event is selling like hotcakes, and we would like to see you there. Make sure you join us for some of the fun the night before the Royal Rumble. And, of course, join us as well, advertisewithhardy.com, by promoting your business to the extreme. Get out in front of thousands of listeners and viewers every single week, advertisewithhardy.com. Matt, anything else you'd like to add here? Yeah, come to the Hardy Party and ask me what number I'm going to be in the Royal Rumble. That's all I've been getting asked for the last week now.
I had a sheet writer text me. They're like, "All right, just slip, man. Where are the Hardys in the Rumble?" Like, what?
Not a sheet writer.
I was like, "What? Come on now. Even if I did know, I wouldn't tell you. And there's zero chance that I'm even going to find out. So I can't wait to see you standing tall at the end of the Royal Rumble and pointing to that sign and challenging Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. I'm excited.
Since there's no DQ, myself and Jeff, we should just run in together. We should just run in together whenever they call one Hardy and just fight the whole while.
Yeah. Make up for not teaming in the 2001 event. Make up for it now. And
right. We'll come in later, about 24, 25.
Yeah, smarter, skills have deteriorated. You want
smarter, more seasoned. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got
deteriorated, degenerated.
Great stuff, my friend. I'm excited to see you this weekend. The words have been spoken. Yes. We'll see you next time right here on The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy.
Delete!
As an adult, don't we all miss spring break? Nothing like taking a week off from all your responsibilities. Well, here's the next best thing for adults, a spring break from house payments. SaveWithConrad.com can help you get rid of all your credit card debt, just like that. We're routinely helping our listeners save $500, $600, $700, even $800 a month. And you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket to do this, but check this out, no house payments for 2 months. At SaveWithConrad.com, NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.